Welcome to this episode of Chatting with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today I got Repo. Yeah, like when you signed up to be involved with this, it wasn't like you were signing up to be in a criminal organization, right?
No, you were signing up to be in a motorcycle club, find camaraderie, and ride with your brothers, That's all.
Yeah, I did a podcast and I had an ATF agent on, and he said that people involved with these clubs, they're all criminals. He's like, all across the board, they're all criminals. And
Nah, nah,
I was
he's
like, I disagree. It's not true.
he's a cop, and that's the cop mentality. That's law enforcement mentality. They're all criminals because they want to bury you. You get caught for spitting on the street, jaywalking on the street. They want to be able to tack like 15 felonies upon jaywalking across the street. This outlaw motorcycle member was, and it doesn't matter what they stack on you, they will make it up. If it's not there, they will just go and make it up so they can rack the charges up and hopefully come in the end of that. They get something that they've dropped on you where they put you in jail for a certain amount of time and ruin your life. Even if you're not guilty, it doesn't matter.
That's not right.
No, they got a job to do, but just do it in the right way, And, I think law enforcement's the gangsters, honestly. They have unlimited funds to screw you however they want to. As in my case, man, I was wrongfully convicted. They knew it. But because I wouldn't be a cooperating witness, they coerced the person into stating that I was the guy and whatever it was that they told him. But he, openly admitted that the police had coerced him into saying, yes, I was on the stand. And, which is pretty damn rotten of him because you're going to take the stand and you knew that I wasn't the guy that was in your shop. My co-defendant, he took the stand. And he said, he pointed right at me. That ain't the white guy that was with me. He said the white guy's name,
How much time did that guy end up getting?
He got like a year of probation because he just, he stood at the door and didn't assault this guy, didn't do anything in his business. He wound up with a year, I think, of probation. His attorney was Larry Krasner at that time.
Now, Larry Krasner is the district attorney now, right?
Yeah, he's the Philadelphia district attorney. And, as we said, I think it might have aired already, when that case was done, the judge I had, he literally took his glasses off and threw his pen in the air. And I don't know what the hell just went on in my courtroom. And he reinstructed, you people understand, how I told you must find him guilty. And they, yeah. And he instructed the attorney I had at that time to come to his chambers in a matter of a couple of days, and he would tell him what to put into a motion for extraordinary relief on my case. And as time went on, that judge wound up retiring before we ever got back before him.
So they really screwed you, man.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
But now Larry Krasner has an opportunity to right this situation.
Oh, yeah. He said when he walked out of that courtroom that day, if I'm ever in a position to change this, you're innocent. And I know you're innocent. But if I'm ever in a position where I can make this right for you, I will. Larry Krasner, he free Meek Mill and a few others, I guess, I just got to go talk to that attorney to get this right. But, that's coming.
Yeah, but we're calling him out now, Larry Krasner.
You're right. Step up to the plate, Larry. Get this right.
I mean, how amazing would that be if he did what he said he was going to do?
It'd be amazing, man. I got to say, Bill, honest to God, man, I fought that case. I was on the street for 6 3/4 years on a bond. 6 3/4 years on bond before I had to turn myself in. Now, from what I understood was one of the longest a person was ever out on a bond in the city of Philadelphia. In that time, this could have been corrected, but it was corrupt and dirty. The dude that set me up on the case was an informant. His sister, from what I understand, was a Philadelphia cop. There's another thing. Through our structure, I don't know how he got allowed to become a member with his sister being a Philadelphia cop.
I mean,
That
they slipped
should
through
not
the
have
cracks.
happened.
A lot of them slipped through the cracks.
I don't know about slip through the crack, or the guy that was doing backgrounds at that time just didn't do the proper background on that individual. Obviously.
So the people that start cooperating in the club, do you think that they start cooperating before they're in the club, or once they're in, they find a reason to flip them?
Both, honestly. You know, apparently the guy that dropped that case on me years prior was a cooperating witness for law enforcement in another case where he was, I don't know, part owner or something of a nightclub down on the Delaware River. And that the owners of that place and a couple other individuals, they got, you know, I mean, what I would call a lifetime of years for manufacturing of CDS and weapons. And in that paperwork that came up in a law search showed where he was a cooperating informant. And when he got popped and he became that informant, and he literally like led the police and other law enforcement agencies directly to where the stash houses were, where the firearms were, the drugs were, where the drugs were made. And then this guy winds up becoming a Philadelphia HA with all that past, you know, prior. I don't know how that slipped through the crack.
It's wild.
Yeah. And, you know, and all the other crumbs that were in Philly, the crumb bums, they supported this loser. They thought he was something great. Well, sucks to be you fools, because, you know, you didn't know who you were sitting down yapping with. And
Pacer,
you know,
Pacer is the lookup search engine. Remember we were talking about that?
Yeah, Pacer, LexINexus. There's two other like law research applications you can use, and I think the one that I found him under was like LexINexus, and there was that other one. You know, he comes up on one, and it's you know, if by the time this airs, if the feds don't rip that down, the guy's dead and gone now. He wound up dropping dead from something a couple years after I gotten released, and you know, good riddance to him. If I was standing at his grave, I spit on your grave, you piece of shit. You know, edit whatever you need to edit to keep them from cutting it. But yeah, if I knew where his grave was, I would go spit on his freaking grave.
Yeah, it's a terrible thing to do to someone, especially someone you call your brother.
Yep.
What was his? What happened with him in the club?
He was one of the guys that quit when they were all called up north to address an issue of you know, the one member that had stabbed somebody out in Western PA, and you know, first it was a pagan, then it wasn't a pagan, then it was a pagan support club member, a tribe member or something, and then it wasn't even that. It was someone who apparently had a tribe MC support shirt on, and a friend of theirs had went to something for that motorcycle club's event, whatever it was, a cookout, whatever, and bought a shirt and wound up giving it to a friend of theirs. And that friend had that shirt on, knew nothing about the MC world, didn't know anything, and wound up becoming a victim of being stabbed just because they had a shirt on.
Wow. So I've heard this type of situation before. How important do you think it is for the public to know about these support shirts and what can happen?
Well, you know, you go and you put, and I'm broadbanding here, any 1% motorcycle club support shirt on. Do understand clearly that they don't all get along, and you're subjecting yourself to something you might not be ready to just to say, hey, yeah, I support 81, I support 16, I this, whatever club it is. You're putting yourself into a position, be aware of it and be ready to have to defend yourself. Because if you're wearing it, hopefully you're not solid enough that, you might come out of there with a couple of punches in the eye or something and they rip the shirt off of you if you're lucky. I know back in the day, when we were what we were, somebody had a support 16 shirt on. It was like, yo, take the shirt off, turn it inside out, and vice versa. That's just the way the world was in the motorcycle club.
Yeah.
And you just don't go walking around wearing that stuff and not knowing, as many individuals do, though. It's a hype. They go and they buy it and they flaunt it and wear it, but they don't know what they're doing. And if there's a war going on, you're a casualty. If you're in the wrong place with the wrong people, you're going to have a problem.
Have you ever heard of any situations where people have bought patches online and have been wearing them?
Oh God, you hear of it all the time. I know on social media, like sites, you can go on there, you can buy a pagan cut, you can buy an HA cut, a bandito, numerous different ones. I would highly suggest you never, ever do something like that. No matter, show it off to your friends or something. Don't do it. Don't ever do that. If you're not there, man, don't go buying some patches online. And definitely, if you're stupid enough to do that in the first place, don't show them on something and go out.